Frieren Beyond Journey's End masterfully captures something that modern fantasy often forgets: the magic of a true adventuring party. Today's timeline often sees fantasy anime trending towards one-note protagonists and throwaway companions. Frieren returns us to the fundamental appeal of classic party dynamics, and the irreplaceable chemistry that transforms a group of individuals into something greater. The series presents us with two complete parties separated by decades: Himmel's legendary band of heroes who defeated the Demon King, and Frieren's new companions on her journey to understand humanity. While these groups share structural similarities, examining both reveals how Frieren's tale uses party composition as something that transcends a narrative device. Through careful character parallels and brilliant use of flashbacks, the series demonstrates that a well-crafted party can do so much more than just deal damage. At the heart of both parties stands Frieren herself, though her role has fundamentally transformed across the decades. As the mage of the present-day party, she brings over a millennium of magical knowledge and combat experience, making her arguably one of the most powerful known beings in the world. Her abilities range from devastating offensive spells to the mundane magic she collects like treasures. Each spell a memory, a moment of connection to the human she's learning to cherish. But raw power isn't what defines her leadership. Instead, it's the hard-earned emotional wisdom she's gained since Himmel's death. In the original party, Frieren was the detached observer, the near-immortal elf who struggled to understand her mortal companion's urgency and emotions. She followed Himmel's lead, contributed her magic when needed, but remained at an emotional distance that she only recognized as loss after it was too late. Now, leading Fern and Stark, we see a transforming Frieren, one who actively tries to understand her companion's feelings, one who celebrates their achievements, and one who has learned that the journey matters as much, if not more, than the destination. This shift from follower to leader, from observer to active participant in human connection, acts as a driving force for the series. To better understand Frieren's current role, we must flash back to the man she learned from, Himmel the hero, whose legacy extends far beyond his legendary defeat of the Demon King. As the original party's charismatic leader, Himmel possessed an almost supernatural ability to inspire others, combining remarkable swordsmanship with an unshakable moral compass. Though he ultimately couldn't pull the hero's sword from its stone, Himmel was still a true hero, his brand of heroism coming from choices, not chosen-one narratives. His approach to leadership was deceptively simple: help everyone you can. Remember, the small kindnesses matter as much as the grand gestures, and thereby ensure your deeds live on to inspire others. Throughout their mere 10-year journey, Himmel exemplified these ideals through every town they passed, saving villages of all sizes, helping strangers from all walks of life, and posing for statues so that he and the party of heroes can be a lasting symbol of hope, and so that Frieren won't be alone in the future. His greatest achievement wasn't defeating the Demon King, it was teaching a near-immortal elf to see the beauty in mortal life. Even now, decades after his death, Frieren constantly discovers the ripple effects of Himmel's kindness. One of those saved villages that prospered, a person he inspired to become a hero themselves. And perhaps even more profoundly, the way he fundamentally changed how Frieren sees the world. Every decision she makes as a leader carries his influence, making Himmel perhaps the most present absence in anime. Where Frieren serves as the bridge between past and present, Fern represents the future of human magic. Orphaned by the war's aftermath and raised by Hyder, Fern's introduction to the party wasn't just about filling the mage role. It was about giving Frieren a reason to slow down and experience time as humans do. Fern's magical style contrasts beautifully with Frieren's ancient techniques. Frieren casts with weight and knowledge of centuries, where Fern's magic is swift, precise, and adaptable. But Fern's true strength lies in how she grounds the party emotionally. She serves as translator between Frieren's elvish detachment and Stark's straightforward humanity, using her blunt personality to say what others might not know how to. Her relationship with Frieren evolves from student-teacher to something approaching equals, with Fern occasionally taking emotional leadership when Frieren's perspective creates blind spots. As the party grows, Fern becomes something like its heart, the one who ensures that birthdays are celebrated, that feelings are acknowledged, and that their journey includes the small human moments that are oh so important. The connection between Fern and her adoptive father Hyder illuminates one of the series' most profound themes: how the best of us lives on in those we nurture. As the original party's priest, Hyder brought more than healing magic and protective barriers, balancing Himmel's idealism with pragmatic wisdom and surprising depths beneath his cheerful, drink-loving exterior. But his biggest gift was his ability to read people, knowing when Eisen needed encouragement despite his stoic facade, when Frieren required patient explanation of human customs, or when Himmel's heroic burden grew too heavy. Hyder's decision to adopt Fern wasn't random kindness, but calculated hope passed to him by Himmel. His influence extending beyond the magical training he provided Fern, he also taught her patience, emotional intelligence, and the importance of caring for others. Stark's introduction to the party initially seems like a simple parallel to Eisen, another warrior filling the frontline role. But his journey reveals how the new generation both honors and transcends their predecessors. Stark brings raw power that contrasts his gentle nature and, at times, crippling self-doubt. Stark constantly questions whether he's brave enough to stand his ground, whether he's strong enough to win his battles, or whether he's good enough to fill his role the right way. This vulnerability, rather than creating dissent in the party, becomes one of its greatest sources of cohesion. As the party develops, Stark evolves from comic relief to the reliable foundation that allows his companions to take risks, knowing he'll hold the line. Alongside this, his relationship dynamics shift beautifully too. From intimidated by Fern to becoming her equal partner, and perhaps more, and from not understanding Frieren to gently teasing her archaic habits. Stark's journey is about protecting others despite your fear, a lesson that adds a new dimension to the warrior role. Flashing back from Stark to his master Eisen completes our original party. As the frontline fighter, Eisen's combat prowess was legendary. But beneath the stoic exterior and incredible strength lay surprising depth. A warrior who feared fighting, but fought anyway. Like Stark now, he was the party's foundation, and one whose stalwart presence allowed Himmel to take risks, Hyder to focus on support, and Frieren to cast without fear. His influence on the current party extends through Stark obviously, but also in subtler ways. His philosophical discussions with Frieren about time and memory still echo in her thoughts. With Eisen's introduction, our original party stands complete. The mage, the hero, the priest, and the warrior. A classical composition that achieved the impossible through a perfected, imperfect unity. Examining Himmel's party as a complete unit reveals why their victory over the Demon King was merely the beginning of their true impact on the world. This wasn't a party of chosen ones or legendary bloodlines. Himmel couldn't draw the hero's sword. Frieren was powerful but emotionally disconnected. Hyder, well, he was a corrupt priest. And Eisen was a fearful warrior. Yet together, they created a new model for heroism based on mundane kindness, multiplied by extraordinary persistence. Their mere 10-year journey left behind more than a defeated Demon King. It created a constellation of saved villages, inspired individuals, and small changes that would compound across decades. To them, heroism wasn't about grand destinies, but about choosing to help, day after day, person by person. Even now, each member's influence extends beyond their death or departure. Himmel through the memories and monuments, Hyder through Fern, Eisen through Stark, and Frieren as the living bridge carrying their legacy forward. They didn't just save the world, they taught it how to save itself. And the current party of Frieren, Fern, and Stark might seem like echoes of the past, but examining them closely reveals a fundamentally different dynamic shaped by a changed world. Where the original party formed to face an existential threat, this new group came together through personal connections. Frieren seeking understanding, Fern seeking purpose, and Stark seeking courage. Their journey north to Ende isn't about saving the world, but about finding themselves. Finding meaning in a world the previous generation already saved. Narratively jumping from external to internal purpose creates fascinating dynamics. Battles become opportunities for growth rather than just survival. The party's greatest victories are often through emotional breakthroughs. The power balance differs too. Frieren and Stark belong to a generation that can surpass their legendary teachers, hinting at humanity's continued evolution. Their communication is more open. Their emotions are more freely expressed, and their bonds form faster because they have the original party's example to follow. Yet, they're not simply better versions of their predecessors. They're answering different questions. Where Himmel's party asks, "How do we save the world?" Frieren's party asks, "How do we live in the world that's been saved?" A question that proves just as challenging and likely even more complex. On a more style-based note, the aesthetics of both parties are also on point. The fits and color schemes go so well with all the characters, which only adds to the magical and already vibrant world. And you might say, well, aren't they just matching the characters' clothing to their hair color? And I would say back to you, how about you hush over there, you overanalyzing Alan? No, but really, even though the idea of how the colors are done is simple, its execution is top-notch. Frieren didn't need to reinvent the wheel to nail the fantasy aesthetic it was going for. It gives characters a clear visual identity that doesn't clash with how they actually behave in the world. I said this in my last Frieren video, but everything feels intentional in this series, and the visuals are no different. The genius of Frieren storytelling lies not only in creating two great parties in the first place, but in how it weaves them together through its masterful use of flashbacks and parallels. Each present-day challenge echoes with memories of how the original party faced similar moments, yet the solutions always differ. When Frieren's party faces a monster, we might see how Himmel's group handled something like it decades ago, but the contrast reveals how much Frieren has changed, how human combat techniques have evolved, and how the world itself has transformed as well. These aren't simple flashbacks for nostalgia. They're architectural supports that give weight to every current decision. The series trusts its audience to hold both parties in mind simultaneously, creating rich dramatic irony when Frieren unconsciously echoes Himmel's words or ideals. It shows us the full arc of influence, how gestures become traditions, how offhand comments become life philosophies, and how the dead continue to inspire the living. Rather than telling us the original party was legendary, the series shows us their legend still being written through every life they touched. In the end, both parties teach us the same lesson from different angles. We are never just ourselves, but always an entire party, carrying forward the best of everyone who helped us become who we are, while adding our own chapters to a story that began long before us and will continue long after. Frieren Season 2 is finally almost here, and I just had to make another video now, because I know very well I'll want to make more when Season 2 does drop. If you all made it this far, first of all, thank you, and I'd certainly appreciate a like or sub to show you want to see more videos like this one. And I just launched a Patreon recently, so feel free to check that out in the description below to get early access and be featured on the channel. And with that said, I look forward to seeing you there, fellow anime lovers. Bye bye for now.